Hey there, creepy peeps. Welcome to my channel. If you are new here, welcome back. If you are returning, it's been a week. How was everybody's week while I wasn't uploading? I had a great time sleeping off 31 days of Horrorween. Now we are back to your regularly scheduled Nightmare Maven programming, and it's a little bit later than I normally do, but we gotta do it. So let's talk about the creepy book club pick for October. So in case you were not aware, I do have a creepy book club. We are on Goodreads. The link is always in the description. We read one horror book a month of your guys's choosing. Speaking of, if anyone was thinking of joining soon, I am gonna post a poll this week, if it's not already up today, which it should be, to vote for the first half of 2020 books. I like to plan in advance so everybody knows what they need to get their hands on, etc., etc. So we're gonna talk about the October pick today, which was The Last Final Girl by Stephen Graham Jones. Like I normally do, because I'm horrible at summarizing things, I'm just gonna read the summary off the back for you real quick. Life in a slasher film is easy. You just have to know when to die. Aerial view, a suburban town in Texas. Everyone's got an automatic garage door opener. All the kids jump off a perilous cliff into a shallow river as a rite of passage. The sheriff is a local celebrity. You know this town. You're from this town. Zoom in. Homecoming princess, Lindsay. She's just barely escaped death at the hands of a brutal, sadistic murderer in a Michael Jackson mask. Up on the cliff, she was rescued by a horse and bravely defeated the killer, alone, braless. Her story is already a legend. She's this town's heroic final girl, their virgin angel. Monster vision. Halloween masks floating down the same river the kids jump into. But just as one slaughter is not enough for Billie Jean, our masked killer, one victory is not enough for Lindsay. Her high school is full of final girls, and she's not the only one who knows the rules of the game. When Lindsay chooses a host of virgins, misfits, and former final girls to replace the slaughtered members of her original homecoming court, it's not just a fight for survival. It's a fight to become the last final girl. So I was at a crossroads with this book. I was super duper excited to read it because it's a slasher movie in book form, and it's self-aware. It's a self-aware slasher movie in book form. And you guys know me, I love self-aware slashers. Scream is my favorite movie of all time. So I was very excited to read this, and I loved the idea of the kind of like misfit, horror savvy person being the main character, because that never happens. The horror savvy character always eventually gets off, even if it's in like the sequel, like Scream 2. Not only is the horror savvy character Izzy our main character, but she's like a complicated main character also. I won't give away everything, but she's definitely flawed, and she's not 100% good, which just made her character that much more interesting to me, that she's not your typical final girl. And that's kind of the point of the book. Like, it's like everyone that Lindsay picks for her homecoming court could plausibly be a final girl. They're not all the same type of final girl, if that makes sense, which I liked. The writing style of this book definitely sets it apart from others. It is kind of screenplay style, but not actual screenplay format. It's like a hybrid between a novel and a script. And at first, I thought that was cool and fun and different. It unfortunately got really old really fast, and I felt after a while it kind of actually started to get in the way of the story, or maybe it just got in the way of me enjoying the story. And I'm not trying to say that like it's the author's fault. I'm not saying that another author could do it better. I just think maybe this idea was like conceptually a good idea, but like in practice just doesn't work. I don't think anybody could do it any better. I just think personally for me it doesn't work. So like I do for all Creepy Book Club reviews, let's go through and see what the other book club members had to say about this. This might be like the most responses I've ever got. Yay! Sorry if it seems like I'm like whining, but I just like want people to talk about horror books with too, you know? So quite a few of you guys shared your opinions about this. So I'm gonna go ahead and read some of them and react to them, and they'll pop up on the screen so you can pause and read their full reviews if you want to. Jackson Lovecraft said, okay, so I didn't mind the story but hated the screenplay style it was written in. It consistently took me out of the story. That's going to be a running theme you see with the book club members here, for the most part. Obviously everyone has differing opinions, but I feel like the majority of us after a while got tired of the screenplay style. Sasha, parentheses, Spooky X Sasha, said she loved the screenplay style for the story and it sort of gave it a fun twist to me, which I agree to an extent. It was just like about halfway through the book, I started to get tired of the screenplay style, if that makes sense. Jamie Z says, I'm listening on audiobook and I agree that the style is kind of annoying. That would be, I wonder, that's interesting. Like, I wish there was like a free audiobook version somewhere that I could just like listen to part of it and see how it sounds as an audiobook, because I feel like it would be even odder. It would be even stranger to listen to it in audiobook form. Danielle says, I admit that this one kind of defeated me. I wanted to like it and I love the premise, but I just couldn't get into it. And that's too bad because I love metafiction, and if you know me, 80s slashers are my thing anyway. I just didn't love it enough, and I think a lot of that was the writing style and how it divorced me from the characters. 100% agree with this. I love meta anything. I guess, yeah, metafiction. That all counts, right? Metafiction books, movies, love it. The writing style did kind of defeat me in the end. Feather Stolzenbach, probably butchered your last name, I'm so sorry. They said, I thought the style was interesting at first, but it also ended up taking me right out of the story and into trying to figure out where I was. Also, my copy had some issues swapping Brittany's name with Lindsay's, which really complicated things for me. The concept was brilliant, but for me, the execution fell short. That's a shame. It does kind of look, just based on my expertise as a bookseller, it does look like a print on demand. The publisher is Lazy Fascist, which I'm not familiar with. That could be a small publisher, could be an independent, like it could be Stephen Graham Jones publishing it. This isn't always the case, but sometimes print on demand books are not the best editing wise per se. That's not to say that there's been no mistakes in books ever, because I've seen printing mistakes in books from really huge publishing companies like Random House or Penguin or anything like that. But yeah, that sometimes can happen with print on demand books, and this appears as if it's, you know it when you see it. If you look at it compared to something like from Simon & Schuster or something like that, you can, and you look at a print on demand, you can kind of tell. That is a shame that that happened to your copy, because that would just make it even more confusing, because the writing style is already a hurdle to kind of get over when you're reading this. Jamie Z also commented something farther below their original comment. They also said, this wasn't bad, but it wasn't particularly good either. The concept was fabulous, but the execution lacking, and the screenplay style gets very old very fast. Yeah, Jamie was the one who I just read their comment that said they were listening to it on audiobook. Yeah, I'm just so interested to hear what that would be like in audiobook form, but I agree. Rebecca Alkazazi, I don't even know why I'm attempting y'all's last names. I'm probably just butchering them left and right. I'm so sorry. They wrote, glad I read this, but I found it very frustrating. The idea was interesting enough, but it went way beyond the realms of the pleasantly knowing and self-referential into just plain annoying. It's like taking a good fun slasher horror franchise like Craven Scream and stripping it of all joy in an attempt to be overly clever. I'm a massive horror cinema fan, but lots of the references were so purposefully niche that they were lost on me. The sense of time was also so mashed up that I found it jarring. A discombobulating mix of retro and modern references. I get that Jones was working all the cliches for effect, but some of the stuff the kids at the core of this narrative were just daftly genre knowing. There were moments when I was into it, but then something would come along to drag me out, annoy me, or make me feel that Jones was being indulgent, putting his own cleverness above the pleasure of his readers. Dang. I mean, I do agree. It was, and this is also coming from somebody who loves self-referential movies, meta slashers, whatever you want to call them. It was like every line was injected with some sort of like horror knowledge. Yeah, and it almost seemed like every character was just just very well endowed with all this horror knowledge so it was like you were getting it from every single character. So it did get annoying, which is like crazy coming from people who are fans of horror, that we were getting annoyed at this. I'm not trying to call out anybody who did like the book. Everyone's opinions are different. That's what makes the world great. But I think the overall, I think the majority of us felt like good idea in theory, not great in practice. So I'm gonna give this a score of 2 out of 5. On Goodreads in general, it has a 3.42 out of 5. On Barnes & Noble, it has a 4 out of 5, and on Amazon, it has a 3.5 out of 5. You would have already seen my Instagram post on this probably if you do follow me on Instagram. Link is in the description. I did post at the very beginning of November what our November book is, and it is Fledgling by Octavia E. Butler, vampire book. Super excited about this one. Not written in screenplay style, so if you want to get your hands on it to read it, do so. And like I already mentioned, the link for the Creepy Book Club is in the description if you want to join, and there should be a poll up as this video is up, so you can submit, or not a poll, but a post where you can submit your suggestions for what we're going to be reading in 2020. Very excited. You can also see what our December pick is already if you want to get a jump on that. I do hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new here. Become a Creepy Peep today. I post videos Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. You can ring that notification bell down there to be notified every time I post a video. Maybe. Doesn't always work. I have no control over it. I'm sorry. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, stay strange. Bye. This video is brought to you by all these lovely creepy patron peeps that you see listed here. If you want to find out the perks to being a creepy patron peep yourself, you can check out that link in the description. There's a whole bunch of fun links in the description, so you can follow me on all my social media, Goodreads, Letterboxd, all that good stuff. So make sure you check out the description box. Thanks for watching. I love you. Bye.